Melted cheese.
Yeah.
We should discuss melted cheese.
Have you ever had raclette?
When I pull up, two subs in the back, playing all them old school tracks. When I pull up, no, you already heard. You ain't gotta say another word. When I pull up, they notice.
Welcome to Small Talk, a new video blog series that we're doing here at Microsoft. We happen to be in the garage, and we're going to be talking with people that we find super interesting at Microsoft and just in and around the Vancouver industry. And today, I'm really, really fortunate to have a good friend. Can I call you that?
Sure.
Maybe. A colleague.
Both.
Yeah, a fellow coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kersey. And I probably mispronounced his name, but you have a window. The window's open now. Are you going to correct it?
No, that was good.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you worked at Microsoft?
I believe I've been here for almost 7 years now.
Oh, that's crazy. And always in Vancouver?
Yeah, I was born here.
Really?
So, there's lots of places I visited that I really liked and I could see myself living there, but I think it would only be short term, I think I would always come back.
What's your favorite thing about Vancouver as a person who was born and has always lived here?
I think it's the juxtaposition of the city, the downtown, and then being really close to nature,
Yeah.
I have a really fond memory. A good friend of mine and I were hanging out at the beach in like March, and we were in shorts and t-shirts because it was already that nice out. And we were just kind of looking up at the skyline and seeing those awesome mountains there. And then she said, "Let's go snowboarding." And I was kind of like,
That's so
"What?"
weird.
And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Yeah. And then, we're up at Cypress like half an hour later. We're at the top of the mountain looking back at the beach that we were just on and snowboarding. And how cool is that?
That's like insane to think that you can do that within a half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too many places in the world like that.
What is your actual job title, like at Microsoft? Like what goes on your card, or what do people see as your area of domain expertise?
So I'm a technical artist, so that's like kind of a mix between 3D art and programming in the game sense. And then now that we've moved over here to Microsoft and software, still tightly related to real-time graphics, but a little bit different perspective, a little more product design, that kind of thing.
For like a person who has no idea of what that means, like even for example, my parents would be like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Like what? Like how do you explain that? Like do your parents say that same thing, or are they like, "Oh, my son works in tech"?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it long enough now that they understand because, I've brought some work home or shown them certain things, they understand it.
Yeah.
But the thing that tends to resonate with people is like, right now we're building a 3D engine that powers 3D inside of Office.
Yeah.
And so people get that. They go, "Oh, okay, I can load 3D models inside of Office." They understand that. But when
Yeah.
you get into the weeds of what I actually do in the day-to-day, then it goes right over their head. Like unless you're in the industry, it's a lot of jargon and technical terms that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
We joke about that when we go for lunch in the elevator and we're talking tech stuff, and you're like, you start listening to yourselves a little more objectively, and you're like, wow, if we run into people in the street, they're looking at us like, what are those weirdos talking about?
What is the moment you're most proud of?
There's been a lot of cool things along the way. I think my first super proud moment was when I was at EA and Black Box downtown here. I worked on an NHL game, and that's something I grew up playing. And then it was really cool to then finish that game and then play it with all the friends that I used to play, and then like that
awesome.
connection of knowing that you worked on it, and then seeing your name in the credits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty surreal moment. That's pretty cool. But the most recent one, definitely, being here, the opportunity to work on Transformation Mask, getting that into the art gallery, and it was a really special project too. Like, it wasn't a solo effort. It was that whole journey of doing it all together, being with all you guys and working on it together and bringing it home.
And that project's coming up again for you, isn't it? Because you're going to Phoenix.
Yeah, Herd Museum.
Yeah.
6 months this time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be our longest show yet. Pretty excited.
It's weird to think that or maybe is it a question? Is it weird to think that it's going to be in a museum, like again, for a period of time where lots of people are able to, like, you created a tangible item that people are going to interact with? Is that weird? Is it cool? Is it?
It's super cool. It's weird only in that, we didn't know how far this thing would go. Like, we did it for the original event across the street here at the art gallery. And we didn't know what would happen after that. We thought it would be well received at that show, but from there, like, you know, it's gone so many places already, and it's, you know, we did that thing over a year ago now, and we're still showing it in places. Nice looking design coffee table book coming out with pictures of it in there, pictures
crazy?
of Sean. Like, that kind of blew my mind. And then when you show people that, they're like, even if they haven't come out to one of the shows and seen it, they're pretty blown away. They're like, wow, that's a much bigger deal than I thought it was. And you know, we feel the same about it.
We're going to do some lightning round questions, and, you know, quick responses, top of your head.
Is there going to be any incriminating evidence in here?
Always.
Okay.
Okay, cool. You ready?
do it.
Okay. What's the thing that you most forget on your way out of the apartment?
Thing I most forget. What my girlfriend told me to do that day.
Oh, thanks for your honesty. That's, your candor is just so appreciated. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. See the future.
Let's go to the 80s. What's your favorite, like, what was your favorite 80s song?
Favorite 80s song. Oh, there's so many.
There's no judgment here.
I keep thinking of George Michael. I remember hearing that on the radio all the time.
That was like my first tape.
Actually, you know what it was? The very first thing I recorded off the radio. You know, you get the blank tapes and you record stuff.
Yeah.
Electric Avenue. I listened to that song nonstop.
I'm gonna walk down to Electric.
Yeah.
Okay, we do not need to, that can be cut because that's bad. But yes, a big hole opens up in the universe and you can teleport to anywhere you want to go. Where would you go right now?
Where would I go right now?
Back to your desk.
Well, yeah, no, probably not there. Probably the most exotic, faraway, human-friendly planet I could think of. Whatever that is, because, you know, the universe is massive.
So now you're discovering and making up stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it kind of plays up the time travel, see the future thing, right? I mean,
Totally. I mean, I didn't give you parameters, so you're open.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging thing that you found in your career? Like, whether it's overcoming a problem or like what do you find is the biggest challenge that you've had to address and overcome?
I think it's always, especially in tech art, it always comes down to balancing the workload and managing your own time. Because you're kind of this resource that everyone wants to tap into once you've sort of made your place on the team. There's things that people come to you for. And it's usually the bits in between, right? The glue. Kind of bringing a few things together, something the engineers are working on, something the artists are working on, something the design is pushing on, bringing that package together.
Are you like hot glue? Are you sticky glue? Like, what kind of glue are you? Let's talk about the glue here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have certain adhesives named after each other.
We do.
After the transformation project, right?
We do.
So
We
I think
do.
I was double-sided tape.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sticky, nice, foamy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the low quality stuff.
No, it's kind of jelly and
Yeah.
kind of looks like your favorite.
Yeah, which is hot glue.
Yeah.
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 Because, I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you want to harm yourself in the making of something?
If you don't burn your fingers, you didn't do it right.
Totally. It was so different from back then because, you know, it was like you started a career, you're a teacher, you're always a teacher.
Yeah.
Or you're an architect, you're always an architect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, like in the tech space, it's common to move jobs, but also to completely change your role too, right?
Oh, 100%. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can try this on for size. They know that they can work with me.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
within whatever boundaries or cage they put me in. Feed me carrots from afar, but you know. But it is that freedom, right? Usually it's like, I want to try this, and everyone's like, I have faith in you. Go ahead. So it's kind of tech's great for that. I don't know if you get that in a lot of other industries. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty unique to tech, but also, you know, being here at Microsoft, they give us a lot of leeway, a lot of opportunity to do that. And I think that's why people stay as long as they do.
Oh yeah, because it's, you know, I can move on to a different kind of role and learn a different kind of skill, which is kind of awesome. Is there any specific person that you look at and you follow their work and you think they're super interesting? Is there any specific programs that you're using? Is there, you know, do you get inspiration from a certain place?
Yeah, I think it's a lot about proceduralism right now. I'm super into the Houdini scene. Transformation Mass was kind of my first foray into that app for real. I've always poked around in it, but that was the first time I built something from scratch to finish all the way through. And I really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, like touching on that, it's tightly coupled with the patterns in nature and some of the books you recommended to me. And I think it's always been a theme in CG where, you know, early days, you're building something pretty primitive, and you were doing everything you can to like get rid of all the straight edges and kind of make it look more natural, and adding some dirt and grime and things.
Yep.
And it was a really manual process, right? And now we're getting to the point where with graphics engines and hardware and everything, and even the computer you're working on to build that stuff is so fast and so powerful now. You can actually take those algorithms in and mathematically apply them and procedurally generate some of this content with a lot more ease, and you're just able to build a lot more and a lot quicker and iterate and get better results. And like, that stuff is super interesting to me.
I love following all of anything that's like algorithms in nature, or like even some of the Houdini work I've been following, which I know nothing, like I literally know nothing about. I have no shame in saying I know nothing about, but I follow a lot of people using it with their artists, and I look for the tag because I find that the work that they're doing is so exciting. And same with like people doing stuff in Rhino and Grasshopper and things like that. There's something just so powerful about being able to script all those things and take all components and plugins and all that kind of stuff, and just to me it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, like that one you sent me this morning, actually. It was from the brand new version of Houdini. It was like 2 days old.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy had done the simulation with the jelly skull over top of a real skull.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, that was amazing. And
yeah.
he's had his hands on it for 2 days, and like that's kind of super high quality, but that's the kind of stuff people are cranking out with ease now, right?
I think we probably have to add that in a link so that people can see what we're talking about, because it's super cool. I like following him because he came from kind of like a more of an ad background, and very involved in Cinder and all the rest of it, and then just the stuff that you see him pumping out, and especially knowing him and his personality, it's always a little like unexpected, and I love that. So I know I always send you those things. I'm always like, are you getting weirded out that I'm sending you things on Instagram through your private send? But whatever.
No, it's great.
Haven't seen any complaints yet. So.
No, I ended up following most of the people you forwarded through.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. We'll have to share some of those out, because I think that's probably good inspiration for people.
Totally.
Thank you for joining us for some small talk. We'll see you next time. And any of the things that we talked about that we think people might be interested, we'll make sure to include the links somehow so that you can actually see visual representations of our small chit chat. See you next time.